B Team is a mix of runner levels, wave shooter levels, and a collection of minigames. The runner levels are laid out in a traditional format, as you must dodge out of the way of incoming obstacles, some of which play with the added use of depth, which can only be fully appreciated in VR. The main difference here though is the fact that you can swap between 4 different characters at any time. Each come with their own ability which prevents you from taking damage from certain dangers. The first character allows you to see the correct route to take through a mine or turret field. The second character lets you punch through strong objects. This is done with a press of a button, rather than having to physically swing your arm. The third character has a missile launcher, which can be activated after looking at all the targets in front of you, and the final character has a jetpack, which lets you hover over dangers momentarily. Having these characters does change up the classic formula of a runner level, and adds extra challenge, and to be honest, it needed to, as the running speed of the characters is a bit on the slow side. Dodging still plays a massive role here, but it just doesn't quite have the same classic flow that you normally find in these types of games. The slower speed here is likely done to prevent motion sickness though. The shooting levels have you killing waves of enemies. Once again, you can swap between the 4 different characters, and doing so will give you a different gun. The pistol is great for quick firing, but it does do less damage. A laser beam gun shocks enemies, which can stop them in their tracks or disable them mid-attack. The sniper is quite powerful, as the bullets can travel through more than one enemy at once, and it feels very satisfying to pull off a headshot, thanks to the accompanying explosion. You can't look through the scope though. Instead, you know where your shot will land thanks to a red laser beam. And the final weapon is the rocket launcher. It is best suited for groups of enemies or ones that are hiding behind a shield. It does have the longest reload time, which prevents you from spamming it. You can even guide the missile after it's been launched with the touch's motion sensor, which is a nice bit of extra interaction. Because the enemies are all weak to certain weapons, it demands that you keep track of who is spawning right in front of you and which one is best to take out first. Swapping between weapons can certainly feel like you're getting into a rhythm after a while. The final level type is a series of minigames. Completing all of them will release a comical looking general. There is so many different types of minigames here. Some have you scanning the environment, others have you cutting wires of a bomb, and another has you blowing up a convoy of cars. There is just too many to list here, but it's so much fun to play through them, as you just don't know what you're going to be doing next. It almost feels like a VR version of WarioWare, due to the variety and because each game is on a short time limit. The variety throughout the game is both its strongest and weakest point though, as some of the things you must overcome are not explained in the best possible way. It creates some confusing moments, which are found in each of the game types, which ultimately hurts the pacing. Timing is always a factor here, so having to work out what gun to use on a certain type of enemy, along with trying to figure out how to solve a minigame, can result in some unfair deaths.
So you would prefer a game to just tell you how to do everything?
The issue here is that you have to replay chunks of a level just to get back to the same confusing part again.
That's the issue with gamers these days. No patience whatsoever.
There is 3 main environments that the levels take place in. These are a jungle, city, and the Arctic, but each level in the game is actually set in different locations. A lot of work and detail has gone into each place you visit. One thing that did surprise me with this game is the sheer amount of things that you can unlock. You can equip the characters with new cosmetics, unlock voice clips and artwork. You do this by spending medals on crates. Medals are rewarded depending on how well you've done in one of the levels, but you can also find medals along with artwork inside some of the levels themselves. Picking them up comes with a risk though. Medals are placed in risky spots during the running levels, and the artwork usually appears when a lot of enemies are on screen during the wave shooter levels. It will require quick reflexes to get these without taking damage from an enemy. There really is so many things to unlock. It took me just under 3 hours to beat the game, and I hadn't unlocked all of them. Further enticing you to do so though is the added modes that unlock after beating a series of levels. An endless runner and endless shooter mode both unlock after beating all the missions in each location. These also reward you with medals and unlockables, but also offer some competitive gameplay too, as online leaderboards are attached.
I suppose if you like playing dress up, the equipment unlockables are something to hunt after.
Oh, shut up, Mr Oculus.
It's not girly at all, if you're customizing butch men.
This game did appear on the Oculus Go, so the whole structure of the game is designed around limited hardware, and to be honest, it does feel like it when you play. It's actually made by the same people who brought us Path of the Warrior, so as you would expect, enemy designs along with their animations are of top quality. Even when you select a different character, your height in the game changes. It's little extra details like this that really show that the developers care more about the world that they are creating. It can certainly feel like a showcase of what VR can do, which makes the confusing moments even more unfortunate, as I think people who have played a lot of VR and just video games in general will work out what to do quicker. It is these players who won't be as impressed by the limited mechanics as others though. It is a game that appears like it's easy to pick up and play, and at times it certainly is. There is just a learning curve that appears here every so often, which may dampen the player's enjoyment. Overall though, I actually quite enjoyed playing through this game. The running levels offer some intense moments, the wave shooter ones have a brilliant amount of different enemy types, and the mini-games were fun to take part in. It really is a complete package.
Oh, I agree. Not many games let you play dress up with action figures these days.
You never focus on the important elements of a game, do you, Mr Oculus?
Mr. Oculus.